What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thanks for tuning in yet again to another English, another episode of Gain and Ross present the Yeah I Said It podcast. We expressing our full capabilities. They might want us in collection facilities. Brainchild of my child. I am the dad half coming to you live and in public, if you will. Ross Cooper, as always, I am rocking with the best. My co-host, please introduce yourself to the folk.
Even the dead can run the juggle till the lion come. Yeah, well, what's good, everybody? Everybody's having a good day, month, year, hour, second, all that good stuff. Keep watching on all the platforms. Please share with your friends, your families. The bug on the wall, the aliens is about to invade, the natural disaster is about to hit. Share with all of them. And then if you're watching on the tube, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Because if you don't, you might be an NBA fan.
What? I'm not even gonna ask. We'll get to that later. I'm not even gonna ask. Um, well,
as well. But go ahead.
I mean, without going too far off topic, KD is gonna get killed for this, and for the first time, I think unnecessarily.
No, it's not. It's necessary. He recruited him, so he had a part to play in this.
So I'm gonna go back to the oldest analogy in the book, and I think people, especially because NBA has become the ultimate old head sport. People are prisoners in the moment. People still think Michael Jordan is like God, and he never lost a game.
That's true. In the
But
finals.
Where did basketball all start? It starts in the parks. It starts playing, with your boys. So when you go to the park, don't you want to hoop? Hold on. When you go to the park, when you step it up a notch, you go to AAU. Like, here's the thing that people forget. People act like AAU doesn't happen. Most of these cats, if you look, we're all on the same AAU teams.
Yeah.
So if given a choice, don't you want to play with your boys? Would you want to play with your boys? Ain't that the ultimate thing? Like, yo, I get to run.
You want to compete? You want to compete? Do you want to just be that easy?
It's the NBA. Ain't nothing easy.
Bruh,
they tell you the NFL. Everybody's fast in the NFL.
The Golden State didn't win every year is because of injury. They don't win every year, and it's been that easy.
No, no, just the ball still has to go in the hoop. You still got to play defense.
Yeah, but when you have all the superstars on one team, that kind of kills the point. I mean, think about this. This is why people don't really watch Olympic basketball, because when we used to send all our best players, it would be over by the first quarter. No one wants to see that.
We sent the best players and they got spanked a couple times.
No, we did win.
That was the reason for the redeem team.
Yeah, but we weren't sending our absolute best. No, we said some good. We weren't sending our top 10 players up there. The redeem team was when we had everyone. You had the Kobe, LeBron. Everyone was there. And then when you had the dream team, you literally had all of our best players there. And what happened? Everyone got spanked. It was boring, and people were complaining.
Okay, the dream team. If you're talking about '92, this was before this was before the game really was global and before other countries caught up.
That team can come out now in their primes. They spank everybody still. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking about?
Magic and Bird were old.
I said if they came out now with that same team against the world now, they will still whoop everyone.
No. I'm taking into account what you're saying. So even on that team, Magic and Bird were old. This is a 3-point. Basketball itself has become more focused on a 3-pointer. You're talking players that we've never seen. So now we're talking Lucas, we're talking Jokic, we're talking like, no, it's not going to be the steamrolling you think, sir.
If we send our top of the top, not just some good players mixed with some borderline all-stars and some role players like we have this year, because I don't know what the hell we sending out this year. This is bad. But if we had the top players, the true top players come out, it would be a wash.
Like just Luka, Jokic, Giannis.
Who else is on the team? Can you name those players who was surrounded by them? Because you naming super duper stars, but who else is on that team?
I mean, I
You
don't
don't
follow
know
international football
exactly.
like
That's
that.
my point. That's
Isn't
my.
it? Doesn't Embiid qualify as an international player?
You can classify as both if you wanted to. He's a citizen.
So there's that. Like it's not like we got some bums. Anywho, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Because one, I gotta say, Father's Day just went by, and I must say, as always, it is a pleasure and a joy to do this with you. We don't always agree, but that's kind of the point. This is, I always say, the brainchild of my child. You came up with this idea, and it is just awesome to be able to rock with you in this capacity, man. It's great to be your dad. Then also, Juneteenth just went by.
Well, still here, but happy Juneteenth. But by the time y'all see it, happy Juneteenth.
Yeah, Juneteenth is here. Yeah, Juneteenth, and it's an interesting little thing because Juneteenth was 1865. Essentially, that was Union troops coming down into Texas saying, "Yo, y'all free." Found out a fun fact earlier today. Juneteenth isn't actually the real Juneteenth because what it was is the states that seceded from the Union. Lincoln was like, "Okay, cool, bet y'all can't have no slaves no more." But there were still quote unquote border states, Maryland, New Jersey, Tennessee, that weren't down with the South, but weren't technically with the North. They kind of were neutral. They had to keep their slaves up until I think almost 1900. I'd have to go back and reread the article because this is new information for me. So like, it's very interesting. We celebrate quote unquote Juneteenth in 1865,
Not surprising.
and yet there were still states that held slaves. So technically, Juneteenth is a little bit later than 1865. But we were quote unquote free, air quotes. I want to start off with a nice little reminder of a young man by the name of George Stinney, born in 1929, executed in 1944. If you're doing the math on that, you might be scratching your head and saying, wait a minute, this young person was 14 years old. Yes, he was. George Stinney is the youngest person to ever have been executed in the US by the electric chair, no less. He was so short, they had to have him sit on phone books. So the story goes, two white young girls came up missing and their bodies were found later. George actually had joined the search party to try to find them. He mentioned in passing that he had saw them earlier that day. That's all it took. Sham of a trial. I think they said it was about 10 minutes. No parents allowed. The lawyer was a joke. 10 minutes, he was convicted of capital murder, a 14-year-old, right? Sentenced to death. And they carried out the sentence in South Carolina. Let that wash over you for a second for a few reasons. Oh, wait. His family was run off. They actually put together a lynch mob to lynch him, but he had already been moved. I'm not sure which was worse, the lynching or the fact that he had to sit in the electric chair.
That's both
But
horrible ways to die.
let that wash over you for a second. Now remember, we're sitting here celebrating Juneteenth. Black folks are free, right? As I've learned, the more you know, the more research you do. No, actually, every state hadn't freed slaves yet. And here we are, 1944, 1865, 21 years before. So what? Let me see, 65, before. Yeah, 79 years later, dealing with this. A 14-year-old somehow kidnapped and murdered two young white girls.
And then help search for him. Diabolical.
Um, Juneteenth was just made a federal holiday a
Yeah,
couple years back by Uncle Joe.
yeah.
So let me see if I get this right. The white people that are descendants of slaveholders now get a day off to what? Help us celebrate Independence? I,
What are you asking here? They always should be day off for black people.
whoa, 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 whoa. Because we're going to get into murky territory. Because now we're going to kind of wade into the reparations conversation. But the fuck yes, was anybody else slaves but us? So what you doing at home? If you are not, if you are not FBA, if you are not descendants of those who were enslaved, the fuck you doing at the house?
And that will include a lot of black people then too.
Excuse me.
I'll include a lot of black people too then.
That's what I mean. Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you wait? Hold up.
You
I
just
think I'm
said if you're
misunderstanding. What
not
do you mean?
descendants of slave, if you're not FBA, there's a lot of black people in America that are not FBA.
But like I said, now we wade into those murky waters when we start
Right.
talking reparations and things like that. But nonetheless, you made it a federal holiday, but everybody gets the day off. Um,
States.
and I know we might hear an argument. Now, again, this is me just, I'm trying to think of any other situation where this occurs. The only thing that comes to mind is Yom Kippur. But I don't think that's a federal holiday. You just don't, you get a day off from school.
I don't even know that because I don't think all the schools here got off for that unless you were in like a Jewish neighborhood or primarily
I'm about to say,
Jewish
you
place.
got the day off from school. That's how I knew about
I
it.
was near a Jewish neighborhood at that time, and a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
you
Jewish
can't,
people went there. So yeah,
yeah, but you can't just say, well, you're in a Jewish neighborhood, so you get the day off from school, but
yes, you
everybody else
can.
don't.
That's exactly how it works. I don't understand why you don't understand that how it works. If they have the majority of the population in that area, everything that they do goes. You should know this.
School boards aren't based on neighborhoods.
You just proved my point.
That's what I'm saying. School boards decide the
Yeah,
entire school gets the day off. That is a school.
all of Baltimore schools did not get off of it, if I
I'd have to
remember
check.
correctly.
I'd have to check. I'd have to check.
Either way, we getting off that. I don't
Um,
really care.
yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah. Yeah.
come
But,
on.
so I'm just weighing all things out. Like, wow, June 19th, 1865, and here we are dealing with lynch mobs, Jim Crow, dealing with a 14-year-old that would have got lynched, avoided getting lynched just to be executed, dealing with the fact that even on June 19th, 1865, all the slaves wasn't free, dealing with the reality of if Lincoln could have won the war without freeing a single slave, he would have done it. That's on record. And it took 100 years for the Civil Rights Act to go into effect.
Still probably BS. So yeah.
I mean, again, I know there's going to be, well, you should be grateful.
Okay. So
We
you
are
grateful
not
you giving me scraps instead of starving, man. That's what it sounds like.
we are not grateful. It's not about being grateful. Is you haven't the objective
Hey, what you
has
up?
not been reached. You freed the slaves. You reversed Special Field Order 15, which would have given us 40 acres and a mule. We had to deal with the first domestic terrorist in the form of the Ku Klux Klan and law enforcement.
Go hand in
You
hand.
so good. Ooh, bars,
Because like I
bars,
said, the clan ain't gone. They just changed their uniform. We know
bars.
this.
I completely forgot, but you're right, bars. So it's not about being ungrateful. It's a start. You still haven't leveled the playing field. And depending on the angle you look at it, it's a borderline slap in the face. The descendants of those who were enslavers get the same day off I do. But, Juneteenth merch is everywhere. I don't know how much that gets routed back into the black communities, you know, between the pride merch that,
See,
you know, pride merch that may or may not be routed back into organizations that actually help with the LGBTQ plus community,
probably not.
and Juneteenth merch that may or may not be from black owned companies or routed back into black neighborhoods.
Well, you had to do your research to see where you get it from to see if it does.
True.
Like I
Well,
said,
yeah,
you should be supporting black owned businesses even without Juneteenth. But yeah,
absolutely.
if you are trying to support just for this day, yeah, you should probably do your research to see who owns it. There's a lot of black businesses out there. But yeah, I walked in the Target today and it's like, yeah, rainbows everywhere. But I wonder where that rainbow money's going. I don't know. But yeah. Um, I did not know that. Well, actually, yeah, that's not surprising. That all the slaves weren't free to the 1900s. That's not surprising. That's somebody's great great grandmother still. Hmm,
Mm.
not that far off. And yeah, executing kids. I'm
I,
I don't think
don't.
God sanctioned to execute kids. But then again, I don't think he sanctioned all the other stuff that y'all be doing too. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
And this is we're going to jump to this part because this is also very interesting as well. When we talk about Juneteenth in history, I sent you a piece from the Midland School Districts. Um, I guess we can kind of call it a bit of a great debaters. We had a conversation about this last week, and I think I have a slightly unique perspective, but I'm going to entertain, both sides of the coin to see what the people think. Um, Class was canceled because a teacher was, it's an advanced course in high school. It's high school, and the class was teaching about history, and it was a certain book. And I apologize for not being more prepared. I'm trying to find the article now. I had it, but I can't seem to find it. But the long and short of it is, the book was about a brother who grew up, Rishi Coates, and a brother that grew up in Baltimore. And it was a book as a letter to his teenage self. And it talked about some uncomfortable let me stop doing that. It talked about history, American history, but of course it had a racial overtone. And it made some of the students, the Caucasian students, uncomfortable. And as such, the class was canceled. There was a statement written by one of the students saying, long and short, the class was canceled due to white guilt. This is where the crossroads and the conflict comes in. As a black man, um, fuck them kids. But as a parent, and this is where the critical race argument gets interesting.
It doesn't.
What you didn't want is kids being made to feel guilty like these kids were for
Yes, we do.
essentially being white.
Yes, we do.
You can't help being born white any more than I can help being born black. Neither of us can help America's history. Neither of us can help the fact that white supremacist system has not been dismantled.
Yes. Oh, actually, yes, they can. They definitely can. That last part, they definitely can. The other parts, yeah, you're right. No one chooses this. This is what we got. But that last part, that's a lie. They can definitely change that part.
The white supremacist system, you have to, and see, this is where things get interesting. I understand the racial animus, but what never can be lost sight of is slavery was an economics thing. It was a cash cow. It was free labor, which made white people very, very, very wealthy. The racial component was justification, but at its core, this was monetary. I say it to say this: you can't this the white supremacist system in this country is connected to the economics. So you can't exactly dismantle one without the other. It's almost like capitalism, almost, because capitalism is global, right?
Of
As
capitalism.
you and I have always said,
That's a whole white supremacist system is capitalist. What are you talking about? That's where this branches from. That's the birth of this. That's not two separate things like it. It is. Capitalism and white supremacy, that's the same thing.
no, I'll tell you it's not, because
So what?
capitalism exists in places that have nothing to do with white supremacy per
Where?
se. Well, let's take DR for instance, Dominican Republic. They
Mm.
have a serious issue of colorism and borderline hatred, depending on who you're talking to, of their island neighbors, Haiti.
Why?
That's not necessarily white supremacy. That's
Why?
money. They're not white. They're not the Dominicans are not the dominant white culture. They're lighter, obviously, but how can you be white supremacist and you ain't white?
You've seen the answer to that, but you're following the same system. You're literally discriminating against someone because one is darker and poorer than you. Ain't that branches of white supremacy? Ain't you being affected by it? Just because you're not white doesn't mean you're not affected by it. That's my point. Capitalism, the whole idea that someone can be better than someone and someone is inferior to you because of either economic and racial qualities. That's white supremacy.
Capitalism can exist in a void. Capitalism can exist devoid of race.
Since when?
Being wealthy, I want to own everything. I want the biggest house.
And who did that come from?
I want all the bitches. I
Who did that
want
come
all the
from?
things.
Who did that
That
come
has
from? Where did that come from? Who is the master of that, actually?
pharaohs were incredibly wealthy. It had nothing to do with race. We're going back to
Were they,
ancient
wait,
Egypt now.
I don't think that was a capitalistic society.
No, no, it's not capitalism. What I'm saying is
Okay, then you
capitalism
prove it by
can.
point. We're talking about capitalism. I'm not talking about
Okay,
other nations. We're sticking to capitalism and white supremacy. That is entwined. It's not a difference. I don't know why you're trying to make it a difference because everything you just
okay.
named has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. You naming the Egyptians. That was before the white people came. Of course, it wasn't capitalism. It was class. Every place, I agree with you. Every place society has a class issue. That's fine. Like I said, unless you're
But
like a communist
the
or whatever.
notion,
But
yeah,
yeah,
capitalism, because it goes back. Better example. It goes back to what I always said. If everybody woke up beige tomorrow, capitalism still exists.
it would be class.
That's the point. So capitalism can exist devoid of anything racial.
It can, but it doesn't. If you get what I'm saying. Because no one's going to wake up. Everyone's not going to wake up beige tomorrow. So it makes it even easier to have when the dominant and the small percentages look like white people, and everyone else primarily doesn't. They monopolize everything. They've infected everything with the ideas that capitalist is the right way to go. That's the fairest system of them all. And we all know that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they
But
sell the dream to other countries so people can come over here to live this dream until they find out it's not what it seems.
but circling back to the point I was making, as I said, I can't fault the fact that I was born in this country black. A white person can't fault the fact they're born in this country white. And there's nothing we can do to dismantle. There's not our fault. This system exists and cannot be dismantled because the two are so intertwined.
Yes,
So
it
you
can.
can't dismantle what you yourself just said it. You can't dismantle white supremacy without dismantling capitalism. Now, as we both said, you dismantle capitalism, you pretty much undo the fabric of society.
That's the point. That's I don't I guess you're not getting what I'm trying to say. It's not going to happen overnight. But the reason why I'm saying it's okay for them to feel that way is because look, if they feel that way, that means they have a pulse. They feel bad. They know it's wrong, which means they might try to correct it and not make the same mistakes their predecessors made. Which means that's a start of change. And if they're the future, and I'm sorry that we have to say it, but they're very important. Like white kids in the future are very important if the system is going to be what it's going to be, which it is. So if they have a change of heart and think that this is stupid, how do you think change happens? Unfortunately, we still need them for that to happen because
But see the
we can't
thing,
do it ourselves. So if we can convince them while they're young that this is all wrong, and they
right.
feel bad that it's wrong, and they're trying to right a wrong so everyone can shut up, including us, and then everything could be a spade, and be fair, like we we say it is or think it is in our mind when we know it's not. Then why not? There's a difference between
Okay.
people feeling guilt and fear. Which one would you rather feel?
I see where the disconnect is. You're making the leap that this guilt leads to action, and in a perfect world, it does. That's where we're having a disconnect. I'm not getting that. I'm getting, and again, the other piece of puzzle that's important and obvious here is the you don't see it through the other side. I obviously am a
I
parent,
do see what
and
I'm saying.
where's the thing?
I'm superseding it. That's the point.
You can't, because
Instant.
my thing is this:
You're a good
how
parent,
would
you know how
I
to make that work.
really? I
Yes.
literally I send my child to be educated, to have their mind expanded, so on and so forth. What I don't send my child to school for is to be made to feel guilty for existing.
For telling the truth. So what was something that you always taught, right? The truth, right? So would you rather go and believe a lie and then they learn the truth the hard way? Or just tell the truth and like if this is my problem, because we've been telling a lie so long that the truth hurts. That's the only reason why it hurts. If you told the truth from the get-go, this wouldn't be a big deal.
Okay,
We
so let
didn't
me let
sell a
me
lie for all of these centuries about America and its relations to people, including black people, white, all this, then we wouldn't have idiots. Well, actually, no, we still have idiots because they're delusional
okay.
and not lie.
Let me
But it would be easier. But since everything is a lie, and so you've come to high school to find out what the real truth is and what's really going on, and you feel bad, that's okay.
let me explain to you a slight difference here.
You think they all gonna off themselves because they feel so guilty? Get the hell out of
No,
here.
no, no. Let me help. Let me help. Most of the American public school system and curriculum is Eurocentric, right? So let me explain the key difference here. Especially when I was growing up and everybody before me, right? What happened was the public school system um, really honored white superiority. It was the white savior. It was, see, look, black people were enslaved, but Lincoln freed them.
It still
You
does.
know, hold on. Yes, like I said, we know more truths now. I don't necessarily think that's being taught
That's outside
per
of school.
se. I'd have to talk to teachers, but I don't think we're like it's like Columbus discovering America. Columbus discovered America. He did an awesome thing. Nina painted the Santa Maria. Here's where I'm going. What was taught was white superiority and white savior complex, but it did not aim itself at me to make me feel bad about being me. It just basically programmed me to say, hey, white folks are awesome. Now, flip that, and what we have is teachings that are making white kids feel bad for being themselves, for existing. You see the difference there? One end, it's white people are awesome. You guys were slaves,
So
but we
you were a
freed you.
lie. You're right. You're proving my point. You were told a lie. So now that you tell the truth, you expect me to feel bad for you because you're getting a piece of what reality is, not dreamland that America feeds you. This isn't a fairy tale. This is life.
As
A
a
lot of this
parent,
shit that we all have the opportunity and the blessings to endure every day is built on blood. This whole country is built on blood. So, like, dog, I do feel where you're coming from. That, but you can use that if you're a good parent, like, bro, you can tell them straight up, like, listen, little Johnny or little Timmy, whatever, Monica, whatever. Hey, understand you feel that way. You were not a part of that. That's something our predecessors do, but you can do something even better than they did and not go that route. Do something to make a change. Look at your classmate. You think all that stuff happened then is not still happening now? It is. You experiencing guilt is not the same as him experiencing or him or her experiencing or they experiencing fear. That still exists. Like I said, the white kid has no fear. Not the same ones we do. Because we get fear from we're afraid of everything, including our own people. So everyone hates us for whatever reason, but loves to be us, or at least our culture. We're fighting wars from all fronts, and you should know our war. That's a losing war. So if we can get more future allies because we're telling the truth and they feel, a sense of, damn, okay, I do feel bad being white. But if you can, like I said, your parents and your teachers are going to have to do a really good job of this and steering them in the right direction. This is why I said when they feel that way, exists no crisis. That's when it takes a village to raise a kid. So we're going to take the parents the teachers, say, yeah, this happened, but this is how you can move forward. This is what they did wrong. You can do better. You can be better than the previous generations. You can set everything right. Maybe that's just me being now. Maybe I'm being optimistic one for once, but like, hey, your pain can be a great thing, man. You can do
Okay.
something different. You
And
can make a difference.
all right, so let me be precise. I actually found the article I was looking for. My apologies to the listeners and the viewers. It's the book is Chapin High School, and the book specifically is Between the World and Me. It's 2015 memoir by writer Ta-Nehisi Coates, recapping American racial history and its impact on life. Is like growing up in Black inner city Baltimore. The memoir was written in the form of a letter addressed to Coates' teenage son. Right. Just coming off of Yahoo News. I really want to get this one right. This book is studied as part of the argument essay unit for the AP language exam. The teacher's name is Mary Wood. All right, put in a lessons plan. Um, and let's see here. Instructions include describe Coach's primary statement regarding identity and your position about his argument. Describe your understanding of systemic racism. Do you think racism is a pervasive problem in America? Why or why not? Class didn't get this from assessment. Um, After at least some students expressed discomfort with two short videos played in class, the unequal opportunity race and systemic racism explained. Okay. Now, this is where this gets a little interesting for me. Hearing Wood's opinion and watching these videos made me feel uncomfortable. One unnamed student wrote to a school board member after the class. I actually felt ashamed to be Caucasian. These videos portrayed an inaccurate description of life from past centuries that she is trying to resurface. I don't feel as though it is right because these videos show antiquated history. I understand in AP language, we are learning to develop an argument and have evidence to support it, yet this topic is too heavy to discuss.
That sounds like a written statement if I don't know one. I'm not saying that the kid can't feel that way, but that sounds a little bit too convenient to what these racist people are trying to say to get rid of critical race theory. Sounds a little too close, man. I don't know.
Um,
High school kids
another
talking like that now? That's crazy, boy.
Well,
Woo.
it's AP language, so this is an advanced placement course. Let's see. I was incredibly uncomfortable throughout both videos and was in shock that she, the teacher, would do something illegal like that. I am pretty sure a teacher talking about systemic racism is illegal in South Carolina.
The place where we were just talking about executed a 14-year-old, but it's illegal to talk about race.
So this is why I was saying I think you're making the leap of guilt will result in action. And what we have here is guilt results in I don't want to talk about this. This was then, not now, and you're really making me feel bad for existing.
But that's the thing, though. If they're that smart, you really don't think that the same stuff is still happening?
Well, they're smart enough to say no. They're smart enough to
Then you're
say,
not. I'm
no.
sorry. I'm sorry to tell you. Even though you're in AP classes, I only had like one or two of those. So I ain't the smartest person in the world, but you're not that smart then if that's what you really believe. Or, which will also tame to your intelligence, you only live in your own bubble. So you just don't notice.
Well,
Which is
I was
kind
gonna
of
say, well,
crazy considering the internet.
let me offer you a different POV, and this is the part another point I was trying to make. White people have another privilege that we do not. Black people, actually, any person of color does not. White people have the ability to live in a world that says, I don't see color.
Bubble.
So again,
But you proved my point. I
I'm
just
just
said that.
saying,
I've shared
if
his
I
point of view.
if I put myself in the position of a white parent, and I raised in this household, we don't see color. We respect everybody's differences.
So stupid.
Even if we don't understand it, there's no reason to ridicule or belittle. we're all equals under the eyes of the Lord or under the eyes of humanity, what have you, right?
That's all I
And
care.
now my kid feels horrible because you ran these videos about some stuff that happened centuries ago.
Be a better parent.
I'm upset about that.
Be
I've
upset.
raised I've raised my child to respect his black friend, his Asian friend, his gay friend.
You think that
We and here you go polluting their brain with all this racial stuff.
polluting their brains. Oh boy. How do you think racism still exists?
And again, you're speaking on this from the standpoint of a black man
No,
who's
I'm
not
not.
a
Now I'm just using common sense. I'm putting my black side. I'm white today. Putting that into the back burner. I'm just using common sense right now. I'm not even because I'll be more angry if I was using the black side. I'm just using common sense.
I,
So so yeah. So yeah. Be a better parent. That's
see.
it. Because y'all great parents. They still shooting up schools and shit. So okay, cool.
There you go. And that's where the conflict comes in. The black man in me says, jokingly, fucking kids. But the parent in me, your first directive is protect your child, and that comes in a lot of forms.
Okay, so now
And
this kind of sounds maybe it's not the same because I don't want to know people. But like you got the critical risk theory for us, so they don't want them teaching them, and then they also don't want them teaching them the gay stuff or sexuality in schools either. So it's like, so what are we learning about? If everything is a problem and the world is clearly different than what it will be in your classroom, like I said, I can speak from honesty. I've learned more outside of a classroom.
right, I don't.
So
Like I said, I mean, I was gonna say I don't know what we do here. Well, we know what we do. We know what happened here. They shut the class down, which I don't necessarily think was the right answer. Okay, so Ross, what's the answer?
how do you tell the truth?
Weighing the two things out,
Okay.
my fuck them kids jokes aside, weighing the two things out, I'm looking at one that first statement. I get it as AP language. I'm not 100% sure that wasn't written by a parent, quite
It was.
honestly.
It was.
You know, two, that sounds more like a student, and that sounds more like I don't know. This might be a leap. Let's just say I'm not gonna be shocked if their grandfather had a Confederate flag. But that's just because I'm pretty sure a teacher talking about systemic racism is illegal in South Carolina. Why would that
How would
be
you know that?
illegal?
And how would you know that?
Right.
As a
How would
high
that be
school,
illegal?
I don't,
So,
bro. My teachers could teach me anything in high school. I would not know it's illegal unless it was like something crazy.
like, this is how you chop up a brick.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I think,
We got drug dealing classes.
like, today we're going to listen to Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments. Okay. I'm
We're
pretty
gonna take
sure.
a field trip. That's wonderful.
Right. Right.
Today you're gonna make your first deal. Let's
Right.
see if
Like,
you
yeah,
pass the class.
that's,
Right.
that's, that's, that's different. But I don't have the exact answer, but I know the answer is not willful ignorance. The answer is not, well, let's shelve this. No, you do put it this way. If we were truly further along down the line of equity and equality, then I would absolutely say this conversation isn't necessary.
Yeah, we're
It's
nowhere
like,
near.
It's 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 kind of the reverse. And play with me on this one. I know it's going to seem far out. It's the reverse of Queen and Slim. Queen and Slim was an interesting movie. I freaking hated it. No, not the Lena Waithe, but I walked away from that saying, why? Why do we need this? We're still in the thick of this. And there are so many points in this movie we don't need. When this is no longer an issue, police brutality, black people selling out in the name of law enforcement, um, getting killed at the hands of police, 50 years from now, maybe even 25, when this is a thing of the past, wow, that's entertaining. It's not entertaining because we're still living it, right? We're still living it. It's not entertaining. Juxtapose that to what we're dealing with now. If we were further along down the line and well removed from racial issues in this country, we could have this conversation. We could have this conversation because it's
That's
ancient
right.
history. It's not ancient history. It's not though
It's
because
turtle
right
teeth.
now, if you want to look around and see the why things are how they are, then you need to have this conversation. So if you are a white person who lives in a household where they toss around the word woke like it's an insult, and why all these protesting and why this and that, because equity ain't happened yet, equality ain't happened yet. You ain't made up for that 400-year head start yet. Circling back to where we started, Juneteenth was what? We still ain't officially free. So that's why you need to have a conversation. That's why. Now, how you frame it, that's the part I'm kind of grasping at. I don't know.
I'm about to say, this is about to be my question. Since you're so concerned about the well-being of the fragile white kid ego, how would you explain the critical race theory to them without fragile their egos in their existence? How would you do it?
Um,
Because there's no way to tell the truth without it being brutally honest and brutally horrible.
I imagine it would go the same way white folks in this country who do their history. Like, and this has happened. White folks have done their history and found out, holy shit, my great great grandfather was a slave owner.
Okay.
Now, you're not though. How do you explain it to your kid? My great, your great 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 grandfather did some very heinous things, but what we're doing to change that is what we're doing right now.
So
That's how
what's
you
the
have that
difference?
conversation.
Okay, what's the difference than what the teacher was doing? You're still learning about what the horrible things they did that actually happened, and some of the stuff that still happens now. So what is the difference? You still,
Like I said,
because
I
that
don't
means,
know.
so either way, you're going to tell a white lie. That's what you're trying to tell me. You're going
Can
to
I
have
have white
you're going
lies?
to have the white you're going to have the white lie, or not tell the whole truth, just to spare their feelings. What does that accomplish? You'd be doing the same thing schools do now and back then. What's the difference?
And see, in this, and I might get some hate on this one, but this is where I'm not just a parent. I'm a black parent. I can't separate that. So ultimately, my thing is, jokingly fucking kids, but no, unjokingly, in all seriousness, um, if we were further along down the line, we wouldn't have this problem, now would we?
Or
But
not?
y'all literally breaking up diversity and inclusion, and like Texas and Florida are just like,
Oh, they're trying to go back in time. That's why I said we're
yeah,
a long ways. They're trying to go back in time, literally. So,
we're
huh?
we're a long ways depending on where you're sitting. If you're sitting in California, you don't feel that way. If you're sitting in New York, you don't feel that way.
Why not? Maybe you don't feel that way. Bullshit. What? All right.
California is the first. The California itself, in two places in California, as you and I talked about on this pod, has introduced actual reparations legislation.
That hasn't passed yet.
But you
Can
can't
you
even
wait
talk
for it to
about it.
pass? Can you wait?
You
One, can
can't
you
even
wait for it to
talk
pass?
about it in Texas and Florida. It's not even a conversation. It's not even a thought.
Yeah, and there won't be a conversation anywhere else, especially in the South. So I'm not. Stop it. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. I'm still sure if you go to California, you still shook about the cops, right? You still shook about other stuff, right? Okay, then stop it. And not even get past yet. Like, stop. The fear of being you is still existing in California, wherever else you just said. So yes, until that fear goes away of just being existing, you want to know what real existential crisis is? Be black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Be American black
Well,
too, because everybody other black people hate you too for whatever reason and don't want to be black. So it's like, damn, American black
but
is the worst black you can be, my boy.
mm,
That's crazy.
but okay, all right. That's an interesting piece to go with. Like I said, I'm a parent first, and I mean, shoot, I'm a black parent. I don't separate those two things. Um,
Neither should they. How do we have progress? You got to feel
yeah.
something. Like I said, the greatest teacher is pain, right? So if you feel guilt or pain because of something your ancestors did or whatever, whatnot, okay, use that as your foundation building blocks to make something better. Y'all are the future. Or if we keep telling the future lies, then the future will never change. It will just be a repeated cycle until we all pass. So you got to end the cycle by telling the truth. Or the lie will
Mm,
get bigger and stronger, like it's been getting for 400 years.
wow. So I'm looking at. the Mormon church abuse that we talked about. I'm going to go a little bit different because speaking about kids being hurt,
Oh
let's
no.
talk about some real kids being hurt. Wow. This is an article from the AP. I'm not sure if we mentioned this. $2.3 billion awarded in a sexual abuse case involving the Mormon church, but they settled out for a million
You said 2.3 billion
with a B.
with a B and
Billy.
settle for
Billy.
1 mil.
And this is the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter Day Saints.
He's grace.
Molested by her stepfather. The lawsuit also implicated her mom and the church. This was April 28th, 2023. I, you know, just just saying, instead of critical race theory and being mad about woke culture while you're going to your churches in confessions and praying to Jesus, you might really want to look at who's really, drag shows, and you might want to look at who's really hurting your kids. There's a lot of finger pointing,
Which
a
side of
lot of
guns?
a lot of finger pointing, a lot of we can't stand where this country's going. It's too woke and they're pushing this agenda. Well,
It's a joke.
the people pushing things on kids for a good long while have been holding Bibles and they're skating. Like, it's different if, you know, prosecution happened, justice happened, but it's not. They're getting away with it. Like, it's nowhere near funny. It's sad. I, white privilege. That's all I got. Well, how's that white privilege? Because you have privilege to just look the other way and worry about what black folk, what BIPOC folk, what the LGBTQ community and their alleged agenda are doing, and you are overlooking what is right under your nose. Like, sir, I'm just past the ball on this one because wow.
I'm a lost words too, but I'm just gonna say this, man. Religion is the greatest scam of all time.
It's I, I'd love to argue your point. I can't. I
It
can't.
is the greatest
Um,
scam of all time.
and that
I
is a
would,
very
like I said, especially Christianity. That is the biggest scam of all time.
you could argue both. The two biggest, you could argue both.
I'm mostly gonna go after Christians because that's the one I know the most.
Okay, because I'm like they have some real similarities. One, the biggest problem, they are both painfully
Wait,
patriarchal.
who? Wait, who? Who's the other one?
Islam. The first is Christianity, second is Islam. They're both painfully patriarchal. It's a whole bunch of dick worship in both of them. The greatest people that ever existed are all dudes.
Isn't but that's all the big three. They all kind of do the same thing. So why is Judaism not getting straight?
Because Judaism didn't make it to the New Testament. It wasn't all about Christ. It wasn't the story of Jesus and everything else.
I don't think it
Judaism
is
and
for
the
Islam
Torah.
either.
Well, but the thing, I'll give you that part. But the thing is, dicks rule. Like, why do you need you know religion is made by a man that says women must cover up to avoid distracting men, and you get
Even in
versions of
Judaism. I'm saying the big three are all basically all the same thing, basically. So whatever, you can group them all.
Mhm,
Like I said, I'm just probably mostly talking about Christianity because that is the majority still of the world. If I'm not correct, they are still the majority, right?
probably so.
Okay,
Probably so.
considering that they always say don't mix politics and religion, but we do it all the time. And we're doing it right now. You're literally giving them a pass out of religion because they're wearing a cloth. Like, so I can just I'm not doing this. So theoretically, they can just keep doing what they're doing, which is very horrible. And all I have to do is confess to God and I'm straight. We will not report it and it will not be illegal.
And I literally went to the Christian religious Mecca earlier this year, and I got to tell you, it is weird walking through the Vatican when you do not identify as Christian and you are walking through the Vatican and looking objectively. It is weird, uh, because it's like, how much of this was stolen? Hmm, what else is going on in these walls? And I get it. Some people call me a cynic, and it's because I don't identify as Christian. I didn't feel the magic, but it's just the head of the Catholic Church, the head of Christianity, and all I can think about is how many kids were harmed in the making of this film.
Actually, forget all that. For me being black, this is my thing with black Christians. Like I said, I respect most religion beliefs if you use it the right way, but it's never used the right way. That's why I even gotta say that. It seems to always be used the wrong way in the form of control instead of being pure and being a better person the way it was supposed to be used. But a lot of people mucked it up, including the people that's supposed to be preaching this. But yeah, like I said, I'm more mad you stole my name, you stole my culture, you stole everything from me. You stole
Is
and
that a
now
white
you're
thing or
stealing
is
kids. Huh?
that a white thing or a Christian thing?
Both. Remember the missionaries and all that they went to Africa too.
Right. All right.
They didn't just do it from the people that got off the boat.
Right.
They probably took it a little easier on the people still in Africa than us. But maybe not.
It's
But yeah, you stole a lot of stuff from people in
mm,
order to push your agenda and your narrative. That is gospel. That's the only truth. And that is my only beef with black Christians, man. Because it's like a
I mean
side of me,
my
it's like, huh?
my issue with black Christians is, to me, it's
And
just
they're the loudest to preach this shit.
I can't tell if you've done your homework, and that's always my thing.
And they
Like,
didn't.
for me, speaking for myself,
They didn't.
when you step out of, because again, being a good Christian means you understand, you believe in the Bible. Well, biblically, it's Adam, Eve, snake, go, right? When you step out of that
Like the
and you
real
look
scripture.
at,
But go ahead.
when you step out of that and you look at this from a historical standpoint, you understand ancient Egypt, Kemet, Ma'at. These predate any sign of Jesus, Bible, Christianity by hundreds of years. So, as a black person, understand the cradle of life is in Africa. My question is, well, what did original man study? What did they believe? What's the hieroglyphics on a pyramid? And we should all know that the very notion of monotheism is new. You can look and see how they borrowed the cross from the Ankh. You can understand how we had different gods for different things. So this notion of a trinity and one God, that's new. So my question is always, as a black person, have you done your homework, looked into these things, and circled back and still said, you know what, it's Jesus and God for me? Cool. It's just I can
Still
never
say
tell.
that. What you know they did. One, they did. You would not preach that hard for it if you did. But
You
but then
can't
again, that's
see the
but
thing.
that
You
is
can't
also
argue.
was I
I'm
said
sorry. You
this.
can't argue to what you can't argue about what speaks to you in your spirit. If
No, I
you've done the
understand that.
homework and you still say Bible, Jesus, go.
I understand. You let me finish. I got that part. I'm saying, yeah. If you did do all that research, that's why I said this is the greatest scam of all time. A good scam will make you believe anything. A good sweet talker, a good manipulate, whatever, can make you believe anything that they want you to believe.
Right.
But Like I said, I have no issue with people using it the right way, all the religious stuff. I respect it. If it makes you be a better person, then all for it. It's just that with that religion, that main one, because Muslims don't have this problem for the most part, and Jewish people don't either, is the fact that Christianity is always trying to push it on everyone else. It will give you the threat of you are going to do this or something's going to happen to you.
Well, I've always said hell is the biggest scare tactic ever known to man, but
Because honestly, I can't prove it, neither can you. That's why I say it's the greatest because it is based off of fear. That's why everyone does everything they do to please God, so you don't go to hell.
right.
That's
And and,
that's
and
that's
yeah,
what our
but
existence is.
and
So
it's just I don't know. And like I said, I've said this on
I
pods.
guess the people of the cloth ain't afraid of hell.
No, because there's and like you mentioned it before. This has always been one of my issues with Christianity, and I guess that's also why it's faith, and you can't try to view something faith based through a logical scientific lens, because faith says, look, and I've heard people tell me this: as long as in your dying moments you accept Christ as your Lord and Savior, you good. And I could never process in my logical mind.
Then what's the point of
So
hell?
I could be Leopold and murder millions. I could be Hitler and murder millions. But as long as in that final moment I'm like, yo, Jesus, we cool. I'm good. It all just gets washed away. Like logically, I can never make sense of that.
Yeah, I don't think that because if that's the case, then everyone would do it. There would be no hell.
No, because that's the trick. You never know when you gonna go. You could be riding dirty, thinking you riding high, pop, hit by a car, it's over. You didn't get a chance to repent. Now what? You're
Maybe
going
you
to
repent
hell.
when you're alive. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying. You know what I
You still
mean?
have
Like,
final, like unless it's an instant death, you still have final moments. You can still do it right there.
I mean, you in a plane, you it's done.
Hey, okay, it crashes on your way down. Repent.
I'm just saying, like, and this is what I said. I try to be respectful, whatever, until you try to push it on. And I'm like, listen, for
Me
me
too.
personally, I sat in Christian churches for years,
Me
and
too.
I just never felt the magic, And I'm not being facetious here.
Tell me
I
what
look
magic is like.
over,
That's just me.
I, I'd see the people jump in the aisles and getting the Holy Ghost, and I'm sitting there looking like Leroy before I got the glow. Like I can't get the glow. I don't know what's wrong.
I was watching a lady
You know,
smack her kid because she was catching the Holy Ghost. That was funny.
but anywho, it's just get your house in order. And I get from I guess, Christian standpoint, it is, hey, they've committed sins against children, so there's a penalty for that. I understand. But this has been going on way too long,
Way
and
too long.
the fact that you can buy your way out, or you can just play musical chairs with clergy and just send them elsewhere and they face no prosecution. And I get it. If you're a believer, you don't escape anything. The Lord has final judgment. I got it. But I tell you what, Chief, you can take it how you want to. If it was you, yeah, I'm gonna speed that karma along a little bit, because I can't say for sure if you're going to hell or not. So we're just gonna speed that karma up a little bit. But
Getting a
that's
personal Uber.
that's just me.
Yeah, me too.
But
But yeah, I just yeah.
but back to the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like I said, yeah. The more I look into it, I just see a lot of stuff. Not even just religion, just a lot of stuff as a scam.
Yeah.
Like,
Something we talked about a couple years ago during the pandemic and such. What is my one of my favorite things is watching systems fall. And one of the systems we've seen fall to a certain degree is college. I think after religion in this country, college might be the biggest scam. And we're finally getting
big
to that
taxes,
point
yeah.
where people realize that.
Big taxes is the biggest scam. And car insurance. But I got it.
No, I can't agree with you there, because you need car. You do absolutely do need car insurance. I think insurance
It's a
itself is
scam.
not the scam.
It's a scam.
Um, Insurance itself is not the scam. It's the fact that there's no rebate. Like how it's administered is a scam to me, but it's not a scam.
That's my point. It's a scam.
Because fam, if you hit my car and you have no insurance and I got $10,000 in damage, I mean, insurance
Bro, they're
gets
doing everything
insurance.
in their power to not pay you, and you have to pay a 500 deductible just to even get
You don't
the do
because
stuff.
you can have a zero deductible. You can have a $0 deductible.
That's well, I
Nope.
forgot you are insurance now, but
Right.
that's rare. That's rare.
You
But
because I'm not
even
gonna be like
without
this,
that,
chief.
they still trying not to pay you. They're gonna find every loophole and not pay you.
It's well, welcome to capitalism. But I'm just looking from the standpoint of if you hit me
Scam.
and you hit me and you at fault and you ain't got no insurance and I got $10,000 in damage, I'm gonna take $10,000 worth out of your ass. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
Oh, you got no insurance?
you want to
I'm
risk
gonna
getting
take ten
sued,
thousand dollars worth of damage out your ass. How about that?
and that's where the capitalist thing comes in.
No, I can't fix my car because your goofy ass right now no insurance.
Exactly. So you see your money because
Just fix my
everything
car.
runs on money.
No,
Exactly.
it's the law of it's in insurance. It's the law of indemnity. It's hey, just make me whole. That's all. I'm not saying I'm not see. And this is where morality comes. I'm not gonna be that dude. You hit me. You hit my car, and I'm gonna be faking a back injury in my neck and just make me whole. But you ain't got no insurance. See, I gotta take 10 grand out your ass now, just on GP. Because then just had to happen.
Cool. I got that part. I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying it's a scam still. That's the point. They want you to eat because of that reason right there. But when you do have it, it is a fucking hassle. Trust me, I know.
Well, again, it depends on your insurance company.
And
If you got
most
one
of
of
them,
them bootleg, if you got one of them bootleg insurance companies, yeah, you're gonna
bro,
go for
even
some
the
bang.
big ones, they still they not really trying to help. They just trying to collect money though.
Well, moving on with this Juneteenth and some blackity black shit. Um, this is interesting, and you're again, they're gonna call me a cynic, but Tyler Perry bought two television networks. The B is back in BET, bought BET, and bought VH1. And I'm like, on the surface, it's like, yes. And then I caught myself like, let me reserve my applause. I'm happy the brother was able to do it, to be in that position to make a power play. But the bottom line is, if you own a television network, what good is it being black owned if it's still a whole bunch of ignorant shit in the program?
Still got
So,
something about them stuff.
and that's what I'm like, this is where you get worried because I'm like, Madea? Again, northern bias. I got it. Everyone trashes me because I'm like F Madea and I don't relate to it because I'm not a southerner. Blah blah blah. Yeah, you're probably right. But I'm a northern elitist. Me and Spike Lee. Okay, cool. Spike Lee movie's going to go in a time capsule. But anywho, um,
I have no
let's see.
allegiance to this land that's not mine. So go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, when, for those who don't know, Spike Lee and Tyler Perry had a no beef for a little while. And I roll with Spike because I'm like, he has a point. You making this border. Spike was kind of, trying to be certain politically correct, but he's making coon shit, bro.
Yeah, he
You
was.
making you making coon shit, dog.
He might
But
still be. I don't know. I haven't seen
don't
him.
don't talk about Madea. Y'all don't understand because y'all Northerners. This is Southern culture. But all
Oh, please.
right, cool. Because it looked like coon shit from here, dog. My
Northern
grandmother,
South.
my grandmother wasn't like that. So you're right. I ain't from the deep south. I don't understand shit. Look like coon shit to me, dog. But anywho, um, props to him for being able to buy it. I apologize. I just got a freaking mosquito bite. It's been bugging me. But props to him for being able to buy it. That's big. That's power moves. Props to him. Like I said, I never had a knot for Tyler Perry's hustle. I had a knot for his product. So here we are. You now have a television network. You know what's out there. You know what our people need to see, what our people don't need to see. So I'm getting you bought it. Let me see the programming though. Is it still gonna be a whole bunch of ignorant shit? Are we gonna get back to some good programming? Are you gonna green light some up and comers with some good shit to say, or just because it's black it's whatever? Because unpopular opinion,
Black trauma.
everything black ain't black excellence, and that's a really yeah.
Unpopular? When did that become unpopular?
A lot because if you ever try to have a conversation, you've done it. I've told
Yeah.
you get rid of hip hop. No, 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 no. It's some of the hip hop will grow
No.
up. That shit disappear
Well,
tomorrow.
because you can see that's why we have a bigger conversation. Because that's not the only media that makes us look in a bad light. We were just talking about one other aspect: media, TV, movies. It's not just music.
Um, let me help shoot.
Sports.
Let me help shoot this down real quick. I can't go to Japan and quote Juice. I can't go to Japan and quote Boys in the Hood. I can go to Japan and quote Biggie. So hip hop is the biggest representation of quote unquote black culture. And
Not,
sadly, it is also one of the worst.
but it's not the only one that paints us in a bad light.
It's the biggest.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is. Because I just said it. You can't go in certain countries and quote black movies. You absolutely can quote hip hop anywhere. And because of that power, the fact that it is so pathetically negative, it should go. That's why it's unpopular. You just proved my point. Everything black ain't black excellence. And the shit that ain't black excellence needs to go.
So
Or
you
become black
get
excellence.
rid of hip hop. All right. So I'm guessing that includes R&B too, right? Or everything that has to do with hip hop, rap, R&B, all that.
Yeah, well, I mean, realistically, if it wasn't all enough, just get rid of the bullshit.
Bro, that's just mainstream. That's why I say we don't have to get rid. Just get rid of the bums. That's all I said. It's not
Okay.
that hard. Think of the people we
Exactly.
listen to. There, like I said, there is real talent out there. There's people I actually see that have real talent and something actually good to say that don't get pushed for whatever. Well, we know the reason. But yeah. And we're partly at fault too, because the people that got something to say, you call them boring because you're not used to the bullshit.
Oh well,
So technically, the casual consumer is at fault too, which is us. So it's like, yeah,
well, when it comes to hip hop, we're purists, you and I specifically. But
yeah,
yeah, I
but
got you.
everybody ain't that. You like I said, in terms of business and all that, the casual matters because they're the majority.
Right. All right. But
So
yeah, on the surface, I'm happy for the brother. I'm happy he's done it. I hope it's reflect. All I can is I hope it's reflected in the program. We will revisit this in 6 months
if Love and
and
Hip
see
Hop
what's
still
what.
there, he ain't doing his job.
I don't think that don't come on BET, does it?
Yes, it does. It's VH1, I think. Unless they moved it.
Oh,
They might have moved it.
I didn't know that was on Bravo because Bravo got a real nice habit of
It could
coonery.
be
Like,
Bravo. It could. Man, don't even get me started on Zeus. Oh my God, that get rid of that. You know what Zeus
I
is?
mean, I've heard of it. I
You
don't.
want to
I've
talk about
heard of
making
it.
us
I thought
look
it was a
bad?
news. I thought it was a news network or something.
I don't know what it is. It's just a network full of foolery.
Okay.
That's
Because I
like,
heard that the one woman got into a beef at the Mayweather fight, Jocelyn or whatever, and she's a representative of Zeus. I'm like, yikes, that's
that's
probably
what
not
they
good.
do. That's why it's like Love and Hip Hop on steroids on that network.
Oh wow, okay, that's bad. But yeah, get rid of that. Like, get rid of Real Housewives of Atlanta because that's just chicoonery. Um, we need to get rid of the negative. I'm with you. Just get rid of negative media. Stop supporting it. Get rid of Vlad while we at it. Stop letting these vultures eat up our culture. But
Yeah.
circling back to where we started, look, I'm happy for you, TP. I've never knocked your hustle. I've just always had an issue with your product. We don't need, Madea gets a rap career. We don't need it. We don't need it. And I think he's finally done with it. I don't know, but like I said, yeah, kudos for now. Hopefully you push real black culture forward. And off to the NBA real quick here. So we were both wrong. I said Ja would get half a season. You thought he was on a season. Oh God, I hate to sound like an old head, but I don't know. 25 games is enough to be real. But it was a toy gun. That was the further information. It was a toy gun because he had a deleted post shortly thereafter showing him with a toy gun. That just makes you stupid. Not a threat, not dangerous. It just makes you extremely stupid. But and that's I'm like, this is the new information that actually can help. Because your goofy ass out here with a toy gun is like,
That
oh,
made it
okay, it
worse.
wasn't real.
That made it worse.
It just makes you stupid, not dangerous.
Get that it no
Which is
stupidity
better
is
than
dangerous.
being
No,
stupid
stupidity is
and
dangerous.
dangerous.
No, he is stupid and dangerous because the last one wasn't fake. So
Sure, you don't know at
like
this
you
point.
can not one. For one, what grown man is walking around with a toy water gun? Two, This like he should be suspended a whole season just off of dumbassness, like a dummy tax. Like I'm sorry, he needs a dummy tax for that. So 25 plus a tax, that'd be another 50. So there you go. See you. Like yo, there's no way you could be that. Like that's even worse. That it was. I would prefer it be a real gun. Because then you can use excuse, I'm a gun owner, blah, blah, blah. You walking around with a toy, the same thing that got you in trouble the first time. And all them other times, actually, that they let it ride. They gave you 8 games that you really only served 2. You went to that fake ass therapy session and then that fake ass interview to do the same dump. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have no faith. I know he wrote apology again. I'm sorry, now. You gonna have to
Well,
prove
yeah, it
you gonna
rings
have
hollow till you show some changed
because
behavior.
you did this before. You went through a whole tour of apologies and all this therapy and then an interview with Jalen Rose trying to look all sorry. Just do the same dumb with a fake gun, a toy, grown man with a toy gun. And then you're playing with guns, knowing damn, especially a toy one, knowing that someone got killed because of a toy gun. I don't even know if it was in your city. Was it in Memphis? I don't think.
Nah, it was in Cleveland.
Okay.
Was it? It was in
Either
Ohio. I'm
way,
not sure. It was in
just
Ohio.
off of respect out of that, you shouldn't be doing that dumb shit. Like, oh my, if you give him a whole season, bro. Adam Silver, you soft as hell, bro. We need to bring back David Stern, man. I'm sorry.
Well, here's the thing. Ja is 23. Tamir Rice was killed 9 years ago, so he was 14. You know,
He's still a grown
I'm
man.
just,
Are you gonna walk around with a replica toy gun?
that's just weird. Like I said, you're not dangerous. You're just stupid now.
That is stupid. He's old. It's really dangerous.
Well, okay, put it this way.
Because
Let
a
me
man,
rephrase.
all right,
You're not dangerous to anyone other than yourself.
that's not
that's
true.
that's the thing.
Because if he's acting as thug-nificent as he want to be with that toy gun, if somebody really draw on him, he draw that, just a toy gun, guess what happens?
He
Him
get
and his
blasted.
homeboy get lit up.
Oh well, but
Like, what? Like,
okay,
come on, man.
yeah.
I don't think I ever seen someone this stupid before.
All right, and shifting to where we were starting this conversation at the top of the podcast. So there's going to be possibly the way it's looking a new super team with Bradley Bill going to Phoenix, and that is one couple things. And in the city of in the city of Denver, and the entire state of Colorado, y'all can be mad at me. I tried to tell y'all, don't be all overly impressed with this Jokic dude. Here's why: he's an offensive monster,
Oh,
but he's a cone. When I see
the
AD put his
coin.
shit, let me get it. When I see AD
Not a
put a
lie.
shoulder in your chest, when I see AD put a shoulder in your chest and you back up and you 280 dog, come on, cool.
We
When
did the
I
same
see
thing.
Bam put his shoulder in your chest and you back up, like Bam and Adebayo ain't a big dude, not in comparison to you. Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right. So
So
this is
I
what
say that to say
I
this.
hate this
I
about
say
this.
this, say this. You're an offensive wizard, and it overshadows the fact that defensively you're a little like this, my guy.
He's
Or it's the wavy
average.
hand.
He's
You're like
average
this.
at best.
Like,
He's
and there's
not a
folks out
con.
here like, is he all time? All time what? Because in the
He's
age of
all
big
time.
men,
Yes.
you'd have found out in the second quarter playing Shaq. You'd have got cooked by Elijah Wan. But again, you play who you play, but
Are they
stop.
but they would have got cooked too. So I don't understand what the
How?
logic is.
How? How?
What do you mean how?
How?
He cooks everyone now. Embiid gets cooked. Rudy Gobert, first round, 3-time defensive player of the year, gets cooked, abused. In fact, everyone abuses him. Giannis, Embiid, they all abuse Gobert. That's why I think he's a little overrated. But yo, stop,
How do you
stop,
lead the
stop.
league in blocks
One,
and
he's
be
not a
overrated? But
cone.
okay.
Two, you can look at the numbers. You can even watch the game. He's not a cone. He puts effort in. He will get steals. He's not a like I said. Is he a
How
leaper
do
to
you
get blocks? No. With that body, who would? But he does
I'm just
contest a hell of
thinking
a lot of shots. You can look at the numbers, and he
I'm
abuses
thinking
everyone
okay,
on
when
offense.
you start talking all time bigs,
He's not top 5. He's top 10. There's a difference.
I ain't sure about that one either.
Yes,
I
we
ain't sure
are.
about that
The
one
top
either.
5 is already solidified. So and he's probably never going to crack that unless he keeps at this peak.
Okay,
But
so
after the
now we
top
go.
five, everyone
Okay, so
else can be had. If we
let's
talking
run it down.
centers,
Let's run it down.
actually
Okay,
six. No, the top six is
Shaq,
solidified. It's
Shaq,
Shaq, Olajuwon,
Kareem,
Kareem, Wilt, and Bill.
Wilt.
That's the five. That's the five. That's the five that everyone
You
has.
think you think you want to smoke with Yao?
You think y'all was better than him? Two MVPs should be three if it wasn't for Joel Crybaby head ass. Here, nigga, take this. And now so three straight MVPs realistically, a finals MVP and a championship. How is he not top 10?
You taking so you as a GM, you're telling me you're taking Jokic over Yao. That's what you're telling me. You're taking Jokic over Yao?
You're taking y'all over you. Why are we hating this man? What? You being
These are
racist.
no
You're
one
being
likes look, these are
racist. You're being racist.
whatever, yo. Whatever,
Shaq
yo.
wasn't a great defender either. Just FYI. So no, you're being racist. You're being
I'm
racist.
David Robinson, there's seven.
He's better than him.
Embiid,
Next. Oh,
Embiid,
there's
there's
only
eight.
one person outside the five that he's not better than right now. I would say Moses Malone. That's it. He's better than Ewing. He's better than Robinson. He's better than who else? Forgetting someone. He's not better than Moses. Like I said, the top six is solidified. But he's better than he's probably 7 or 8 right now.
So
It
you're
might be
telling
one
me
more
you're
name I'm
taking
missing.
Jokic over Yao, over
Yes.
Embiid.
Yes, over Dwight,
You're
Matumbo, Willis Reed. Well, not was Reed center? No, I'm thinking something. That nigga was. I'm taking over all of them. All of them.
Okay.
Why y'all
But
hating on this?
anywho,
Like this nigga's not generational.
what I was anywho, what I was saying was this Denver run is Dallas run. It's an Nowitzki team.
We'll see.
It's one and done.
We'll see. Because the difference between the Nowitzki teams, because Nowitzki was old, that team was old. This team is all young. They're all young.
And truth be told, they shouldn't. Truth be told, we all know that Dallas team shouldn't win anyway. But
no, because LeBron solved it. No, I ain't gonna do that. But either way,
but
that's why he's not the good.
yeah, it's one and done. It's one and done. You're about to have a team with three potentially 30-point scores on it.
That's cool. Who else is on that roster?
You got a team that can drop 90. And,
who else is on that roster? We just learned in this playoff run that depth matters. Depth matters. Denver had depth, and Miami. They went to the finals with freaking undrafted players. 7 or 6 of them. Well, how many of them?
Jimmy is a dog. We know that. But okay.
But he wasn't playing like a dog since the second round. So the rest of his team picked up and basically carried his ass to the final. Even got him a game. That's why team basketball now works. KD should learn from his last super team that it fails. If you don't have the pieces around your big three, you're going to lose.
Here's the thing, though. I was talking to somebody about this earlier. The instances of big threes and super teams working is a lot higher than not.
No, it's not. Most of them fail.
Really?
What's the last one besides Golden State? Hey, Golden State and Bron, yeah. Okay, we had LA with Kobe, Dwight, Gasol, and all of them. That was super team. And Harchess, I think, too. Failed. You had Brooklyn, that right now. I mean,
if not for the pandemic, we
failed. They still failed. I don't care. Failed. What was another super team that failed? Oh, yeah, it was a super team in Brooklyn twice. When you had KG, Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson, and Darren Williams. Failed.
That wasn't a super team.
Yes, it was.
That was not a.
It was a super team. That's another super team. That's 3. Who else is another super team? Because most of them all fail, except for the 2, except Golden State and Miami.
Bird, McHale, Parrish titles
in the modern era. Recently, not super teams that were built through the draft, where they were all teamed together.
KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen title.
That's 3. They won 1. Most people consider them a failure because they won 1, and they talk like they are a dynasty, and they're not. If you're a super team, you need to win more than 1. That's a failure. That's a failure.
Bron, D. Wade, and Wash. That's and Bosh titles.
Okay, that's 2. I said the Heat and Brooklyn. Not Brooklyn, in Golden State. That was the only super team that really succeeded. All the other ones, Failed.
The Celtics got a title out of it. What are you saying? Oh, so they didn't get more than one title. It didn't work. The Celtics got a title out of it.
Bro, were we expecting that team to win one title or multiple? When that shit assembled, because I remember everyone thought, all right, they're gonna run the table. It's about to be a dynasty. They won one,
Um,
and then they haven't since. Couldn't be Kobe. Without a super team, by the way. Shout out to Black.
Kobe had two. I mean, Kobe had two 7-footers though.
It wasn't a super team. One Bynum was always hurt. So yeah, it was a duo. I'm cool with duos. That works. That actually works more than super teams.
You know, and I don't know if we want to count Houston as a super team because at that point Barkley was washed.
It was a
But
super team. He wasn't washed that first year.
Olajuwon Drexler and Barkley was.
It was a super team. It failed. It doesn't matter, dog. That Lakers team towards in '04 failed.
Peyton
That's
and
it.
Karl Malone were both way.
No, good. Karl Malone was still averaging 20 that year. So he was still Karl Malone. Gary Payton might have slowed down a little bit, but it was still a super team. You still had Shaq, Kobe, and Prime with two other Hall of Famers who were still really good. One of them, even though I hate talking about Karl Malone, the positive light, he was still really good. So yeah, another failed super team.
So
They
we can't
mostly
count San
failed.
Antonio
That's not
because
super.
that was our draft.
Oh, they mostly failed. It never really works.
Okay. Okay.
You had you like if I was Phoenix, as much as I'm mad at KD for letting this bullshit happen again, I'm tired of super teams. Dog, you had a duo. Duos work. That is
All
really
I know is
more
this is
successful. If you have two elite players or one elite and one borderline elite, and then you surround them with good role players, you can win with it.
all I know is
Denver just
you
did
heard
it.
it. You
Majority
heard it
teams
here
do it.
first.
Kobe did it. Kobe and
I
Shaq did it.
got
Kobe Gasol did it. Like,
I got
God.
I got Phoenix. So I got you heard it here first. I got Phoenix as a 61 team.
Okay, do you got them winning the title? Because if they
Um,
fail, then that's a failure. This is
nah, the failure would be Golden State winning 73 and then not winning the title. That's fair. But
oh, this
Phoenix
is
winning
dog. This
60.
is you just said you have the ability to score 90 points over three people. The expectation is you have literally two superstars and another star, or depending on how you have them, maybe three superstars, which is it's not. How do you not win a title with it? That's the expectation. That's why and they're all in their prime. Hades towards the end of his prime, but he's still buckets, at least in the regular season. Devin Booker, we
And like
saw
I
what he
said,
just did.
now this we gotta wait because they're gonna lose. They're probably gonna lose the Aiton from this,
They
and
have to.
someone's gonna someone's still gotta run a point. Like someone's
They
still gotta run a
have
point.
they have no one signed outside of those four players or five players.
I mean, you know who's be
They
perfect for this
have no
team?
bench, nothing. They have nothing.
I, we'll see.
You're gonna have no
That's
depth, and you're banking on Bradley Bill, D Book, and KD all being healthy, which is the last couple years has not happened
60 wins.
with
I
no
mean,
depth.
you know what I was thinking about? You know who'd be the perfect point guard for this team? Rondo. But you know, like oh my god, you don't even need a point
Therefore,
guard that can score. You just
no,
need a
you
point guard that
don't.
can. So I'm like, yeah,
But
I got.
you need a lot of stuff still. Because even
I'm
when you had the duo, you didn't have no depth, and you got your ass whooped by them.
what
So
I'm
if I'm Denver, I'm still laughing at you because one, you gotta hope that you're still healthy when you see us, if you see us. Two, I'm not worried about y'all because y'all can't stop us. Neither one of them play defense. So, so as we saw, it took like record performances from D Book just to get 2 games.
okay. We will see how this goes. And we will see how this goes. But I got Phoenix down for 61.
I don't care about the rest of the season. Are you gonna win the title? But you don't have one in the title, so it's a failure.
We'll see. You know, I don't have one in the title. Denver. That's why I don't have one in another title.
That's
That's
cool. I never said they would. I'm just saying you
right.
just a
Because that's
hater, yo. God damn. Lord have mercy.
that's
Denver catching a
they
stray.
gonna
We're
have
not even talking about it. You
they
just
gonna
had
have
to
that
bring up
long
Jokic, bro.
they gonna have that
Man,
lonely ass Dallas
you and
title.
Perk, yo. That's why you like Perk. the stupidity of NBA takes, man. Ain't no way you said that. He's not top 10. Oh, he's just one side of the ball. That's how I know you don't watch basketball, you casual.
Whatever, B. Like
It's all right.
it's
You
crazy
watching
seeing
highlight.
crazy seeing a 7 footer, grab the rebound and run a point. I get it. That's ooh. But when I'm seeing Bam and
Ooh,
Adebayo, when I see a Bam and Adebayo put a shoulder in your chest, you
he did the
fold,
same. Okay, when they had Bam on, he was getting abused the whole time. It was an
bro. You seven
automatic
one
bucket.
280. You should be.
He does
But
that
if
to
you seven
everyone,
one
though.
two,
That's my
right,
problem.
right, right. But my
So
thing is this: you drop 30, 15, and 12, but you'll give up 25 and 10.
not all the time, but
Who
okay.
getting a 20? Oh, so who getting 25 and 10 off Shaq? I answer that. Nobody. When he
That's a
came
lie.
down, when he came
Olajuwon cooked his ass. Do we forget
as a
about that?
rookie, as a
He
rookie, yeah.
wasn't a rookie. He was in his third, fourth year.
When they got swept,
They made it to the finals. He got
mm-hmm,
his ass whooped by
mm-hmm,
Olajuwon, which who I
mm-hmm.
admit is better than him. So he can get got. Why rather like Shaq could not get got by another all-time center, which Jokic would be. I'm not saying Shaq
So
won't get his because he definitely would. He
one
would.
LA Shaq. What you think old Joker boy doing with that?
There's
I'll
not
answer that.
not '01,
Nothing.
2000, because '01 after 2000 that's when he started to go down a little bit. So 2000, his best year, when he was actually in shape with strength. There's no one in league history outside of Will Chamberlain that can probably do something with that. I understand, but you act like he doesn't get got on defense. He can. He's gotten got by all-time great centers before.
You really think and Bam
Olajuwon
and
was
a
still
you think
as Ross voice eating that ass. Like, come on, like,
you
nah.
think you think Bam Adebayo is putting his shoulder in Shaq's chest? You no. You think AD is putting his shoulder in Shaq's chest? I'll help you
AG,
out.
yeah, AD does
No.
that. He might need a stretch.
See,
I would not want to see him against. Oh my god, he'd get hurt on the first play. That one drop step, he gonna fly in the stands. Is over with.
what? See, now why AD catching strays, yo?
Because he
Why?
saw this. That's a softball right there, boy. You talking about yogurt? Nah. Put your racial bias aside. AD is very soft. He is
Why are
Terry
we
people.
starting this? Why are we starting this racial narrative? There's no racism here. Your boy
Because
is just
it is man.
whatever.
You
Yo. There's
hating
no
on Jokic
racial
for
narrative.
what? What you hating on Jokic for, bro? He better than Bam. He better than he's the best big in the in
Mm,
the
in,
in the
in,
league.
in my in
He's the
my deep
best big
knowledge.
in the league. Who's the best big in the league? Answer that.
Overrated.
Who's the best big in the league? Answer that.
A healthy AD. healthy AD. Okay. But no. Um, I got Phoenix down. I got Phoenix down for 60 wins. I got Phoenix down for 60 wins. Like you got 3 30 point scores per night, and the beauty of the chemistry is these guys are used to having to carry the load. So as we saw when KD went to Golden State, oh snap, I can pass off. Oh wait, I can pass off.
You do realize, yeah, the 30 point, but you literally got the lesser version of Devin Booker on your team. They do the same thing, literally. But Bradley Beal is worse than Devin Booker. You didn't need another two guard. You needed a point guard and a serviceable center
With that kind of
and more depth.
firepower, with that kind of firepower, I just needed
They do the
D'Lo would look
same
like an
thing.
all-star.
They're going to get in each other's way. It's literally going to be Brooklyn all over again. Except James Harden can actually run guard. That's why it actually worked when they were all healthy. But they don't have a James Harden. There's no guard that can distribute. Devin Booker ain't a distributor. He's okay. He's good at passing, but he ain't. That's not his main thing. He needs to be off board and get buckets and
Okay.
can pass out double. And we all know KD is horrible passing out of doubles and stuff. So it's like you needed a point guard and more
Mhm.
depth,
Mhm.
not another scorer who does the exact same thing that
It,
the
it,
other two do.
it ain't over
Scoring
yet.
was not an issue in the playoffs. It was
Okay.
defense
I
and
mean,
depth.
they said Kyrie and Luke could do the same thing. Yet here we are. So
Huh?
they
They
said
had no
Kyrie and
depth
Luke.
either. They had no. That's you proving my point. That's
No,
the
I'm
same
saying you
thing.
acting like they can't play together and get in each other's way. Like, yet we have Kyrie and Luka, and
That's two. There's not a third supreme superstar on that team that also needs shots. That you're not proving my point. Because
okay,
it didn't work because Luke without him, Luca was a fifth seed. When he came, they missed the plan.
but they tanked on purpose. But yeah,
No, I'm saying they tanked the last game on purpose. They didn't tank the whole season. They were the fifth seed. Luca without Kyrie and having a little more depth. They kind of lost it, but they stayed a little more depth. Luca by himself, we've seen he gets you to a top five, top six. He gets another
okay,
superstar that does the same thing, and they lose all their depth trying to get the dude. They're out of the playoffs.
okay,
You're proving my point. You just
all right.
get two and add depth. That's all you need.
Uh, let's run it on back here and recap this because that was interesting. Again, I still got I can recap from the top. Happy Juneteenth, sorta. Happy George Stinney reminds us, maybe not so much, and that's just one instance. Um, Midland school districts. I'm a black man, black parent first, so F them kids. I'm sorry. Suck it up, suck it up. But welcome to the real world, dog. Suck it up. The Mormon Church, get your house in order. Just get your house in order. Like seriously, get you if you my personal belief aside, you all claim to be believers in God, and some tell me God don't want you touching little kids inappropriately. Get your house in order. Get your house. Tyler Perry, shout out to you for buying two networks. I hope it shows up in the program. And high five. I will give you a higher five as long as we don't see Madea makes a mixtape. Ja, I think you got lucky, my guy. Again, you just stupid, not dangerous at this point. You just yeah, I it has never in my life occurred to me to walk around stunting with a fake gun. Like if I had a fake gun, it was a super soaker, and everyone knew it was a super soaker. I wasn't stunting like I'm OG killer Bobby Johnson. Only some of y'all gonna get that reference. But 25 teams, 25 teams, 25 games should have been an All Star break, but I'm not Adam Silver. That's what it is. And yeah, I got Phoenix down for at least 60 games, but I absolutely got Denver not repeating.
Why I think he's Denver catch? Maybe just a hater.
Yo, recap, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Hater. All right, happy Juneteenth. Today is supposed to be day about love and freedom. You hating, but rest in peace to George Stinney, man. That's sad. 14-year-olds. Yeah. Um. Yeah, all the white kids that are sad and stuff. It's okay. Wipe your tears off, wherever cloth you need, and then let's get to work. It's work to be done. This could be a good thing. I take it as a good thing because you're feeling empathy, and you can actually make the change that your predecessors did. So think about it like that. Positive spin. See, if I was a parent, that's why I would tell your white ass. But the Mormon Church, yeah. Telling you, I swear this is the biggest scam. Even though I do believe, I have my own beliefs too, but I swear this is a scam. I don't know how. Basically, you can be a sexual predator and abuser, and you get off just because you repented. Like, if that's the case, let it for everybody. Then we don't even need prisons. We just repent. Like, why they get special treatment? All right. Tyler Perry, yeah, we don't need Madea Stars OnlyFans or whatever. Yeah, I'm good on that. Job suspension. You got off lightly.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I believe you definitely should have got the whole season or half the season just because of the dummy tax. Like I said, like that. Like I don't. The toy gun made it worse. Like if he would have came to me in my office and I was Adam Silver, he said it was a toy gun. Prove it. 100 games. You know my office. That beat is stupid. All right, super team. I'm not a fan. I think Phoenix is going to end up regretting this. Like I said, but we'll see what they fill out the rest of the roster. There's not much they can do because cap space, you literally have three super max players, and the new CBA kicks in this year, so ain't a whole lot they can do. And oh yeah, real quickly, Flash review because we didn't talk about it. I gave it
But
3.5 scoops out of 10. It was mid as hell. Mid. That's all I can say.
yeah, I gotta
I
watch
can
it so we
elaborate
can.
next time when he watches it. If he watches it, it's mid.
Oh snap! Did we talk about Transformers on the show last week?
I do not remember.
I
I
don't
think
think
we
we
did.
did. We got. I don't
Did
know.
we?
I know we talked about it offline. I don't think we did it on the show, so we might have to review that. But okay.
Okay. Review two movie reviews next time as long as he sees Flash. But yeah.
Right. All right. Well, thank y'all as always for tuning in, man. This was awesome. Again, great Father's Day, man. I love doing this with you. Same bad time, same bad channel next week. On behalf of myself and my super dope co-host from Yeah, I Said It podcast. Peace.
Yeah.